I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy. I am. I'm not going to lie to you. I've told people before. I've said it on this show with Colin. He's the best thrower of football I've ever seen. He's got all the things you want. And he doesn't have the rings that Aaron Rodgers has. And I think that at some point you get into your career. You ever see My Cousin Vinny?
I have not.
Never seen My Cousin Vinny. No. Marissa Tomei, a little before you, probably, right?
I know who Marissa Tomei is, but I've just never seen the movie.
Her famous line, there's two famous lines in that movie. One is the judge saying, Joe Pesci says the two Utes, because he's from New York. He's the lawyer, the two Utes. And the judge says, what is a Ute? Right? Because it's youth. Anyway, the two Utes. And the other famous line is Marissa Tomei, who is the girlfriend, I believe, of Joe Pesci. She goes into this rant about being in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the South, and this trial that they're not going to win. And her biological clock is ticking over here. That's what she says. My biological clock is ticking. Because there comes to a point in everybody's life when, or especially women's life, where you're like, look, I'm ready to be a mom, ready to settle down. Like, my biological clock is ticking. The window is, in fact, closing. The window is more open now than it probably used to be.
Can't wait to hear this point.
Okay. So Aaron Rodgers has always acted as though he has he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. There's like a bag of Doritos on his shoulder. He has a bunch of chips. Like, he's still mad that he had no scholarship offers out of high school. He had one scholarship offer out of junior college. And then after tearing it up in college, they're like, well, you got to change your throwing motion. If you remember back to draft night, he was the last guy in the green room. Like, he wanted to go number one overall. He's from San Francisco, grew up idolizing Joe Montana, and they had the number one pick, and they took Alex Smith instead of him. And you could just see him just seething in there. And he's always kind of, and then, Brett Favre wasn't cool to him early on when he was his understudy, because Brett Favre, I'm sure, knew that dude's the future. And Brett Favre, well, I'm going to retire. No, I'm not. I'm retired. Finally turn it over to him, but he still wasn't the guy. Now he's won a Super Bowl. Now he's seen as a superstar, but because of injury, because they haven't had running game. Heck, he was hurt when they should have beaten Seattle. Was that 3 years ago? 3 years ago, they had Seattle dead to rights beaten in Seattle, even though Aaron Rodgers had a pulled calf muscle, and they limited what. And somehow Seattle has this miracle comeback, and he doesn't get a chance to go to the Super Bowl to face off with Tom Brady. That's something we haven't gotten. Like, we never got LeBron versus Kobe, and to this point, we've never gotten Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers in a Super Bowl. So I think sometimes when we interview or we hear Aaron Rodgers being interviewed, or you hear him even talking about his wide receivers going back to last week where he said their effort is piss poor. And he stopped with I'm not here to be anybody's friends. I'm here to win games. Like, man, he's really focused. Some people have hypothesized it's about his contract. No, it's not. He's getting that done. Some people have hypothesized it's about Jordy Nelson getting cut. I think there's maybe a little bit to it. Some people have hypothesized, well, maybe he doesn't get along with the coaching staff, right? He doesn't agree. Or the front office, and the fact that up until Ted Thompson was kicked upstairs, they would never look outside of the organization to bring in help. And you do need a little bit of help. I think when you watch him this preseason, when you watch him all the offseason, and you see how driven, how focused he is, and how a little bit edgy he is, his quarterback clock is ticking. Aaron Rodgers is, 34 years old? Now, he's 34. He's had some injuries. He had the collarbone, obviously. He's had the calf. He's had a concussion or two. So I would guess, I don't know if you play spades, but when you go around, you're playing spades and you have a partner, you have to bid. You have to say, how many you think you can win? You're like, I got 3 with a possible 4. I think he's 4 with a possible. If he plays till he's 38, plays prime Aaron Rodgers till he's 38. And you could say, wait, Tom Brady is eating avocado ice cream. He's into his 40s. Yeah, but Tom Brady, he's so slow he'd race a pregnant woman and come in third, right? Runs like he's dragging a dead body. But Tom Brady he's had good pocket mobility, but he's never depended on overall athleticism the way that Aaron Rodgers has. Rodgers has a better arm, but also better feet. And if you take away his legs, at some point, that's what goes first. It will change him. So I would say four more really, really good years. And everything has to come together perfectly in order to win a Super Bowl or just get to a Super Bowl, as we know from watching his career. I think that one of the reasons that he seems a little bit more edgy and a little bit more focused and having a little bit less fun is not the contract. As you stated in the news, like he's going to get the biggest contract we've ever seen, and rightfully so. It's that he believes he's the greatest to ever play it. Other people, not just me, but more important people have said he's the best they've ever seen spin it. But the only way to put him in that argument is for him to get another couple rings, right? One more puts him ahead of Brett Favre. One more puts him at the level of Ben Roethlisberger and of Eli Manning. Two that I think he thinks he's better than, puts him at the level of Peyton Manning, who is seen as one of the all-time greats. And there was a time to which people thought Peyton was the greatest ever. Two more, now all of a sudden you're in the GOAT conversation. You probably never get there because Brady has so many and he'll have a chance to win another one, but you might. You might. LeBron's in that conversation, and he's never going to have as many as Mike. And Mike is seen as the GOAT, and he doesn't have as many as Bill Russell.
Do you have to win a bunch of Super Bowls to be considered the GOAT?
I don't believe so.
I mean, I compare it to, I work a lot in soccer. I was just at a World Cup. Messi. Lionel Messi has never won a World Cup before. He's one of two greatest of all time.
Yes. I think it's different. It's so different in soccer. There's such a randomness to soccer in the number of goals. And he plays for Argentina. Like, it's not like he's playing for Spain or he's playing for Germany.
But that's what happens, right? Like you just said, everything has to line up right in the next, 4 years you said that he had.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. That doesn't mean that.
Right. But also World Cup, you get once every 4 years. So how many legit shots do you get?
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of trophies that he hasn't won besides World Cup.
No, it's completely fair. Look, it doesn't make any sense that we judge you based upon if you win this final game. The perfect example is he goes to a Super Bowl and probably beats the Patriots if he's healthy 3 years ago, if they can simply recover an onside kick, to which he wasn't on the field for. I had Phillip Rivers on my radio show last week, and he's like, how crazy is it that Tom Brady leads his team down the field for a touchdown? The Seahawks, 2 weeks later, in that very same year, 3 years ago, they're about to score. They hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, they probably score. Or if Malcolm Butler doesn't read the play, they probably score. Malcolm Butler intercepts the ball. Tom Brady not on the field, and now Tom Brady was the greatest ever. Why? Look at all the rings. I didn't say it made sense, but I do think that there's some ego to it, and there's just the idea of, hey, a lot of people have won one champ. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl once. Right? We can kind of go through the list. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl once. Trent's a friend of mine, but even Trent wouldn't say, I'm not at that level.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.